Hi, my name is Tom Walsh, and today I'm going to walk through a macro and show you how to use a do-while loop. On the left-hand side of my screen, I have a spreadsheet that in column A has a list of product numbers. In column B, it has a description for those particular product numbers. What I'm going to do is step through each row in column A, and as I do that, I am going to trim the description in column B to 20 characters. And as I step through the macro, I'll talk about a few of the things that I'm doing there. So to step through a macro, I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Command-Shift-I. And it starts me out at the top of my macro, which I've labeled Common Tasks. The very first line of code is a select statement. So I define a range, A1 in this case, which is the topmost cell. And when I process this line of code, you'll see that the active cell will jump from A18 up to A1. There it goes. And then it puts me at the top of in the code, at the top of my do while statement. The do while loop in this instance is going to look at the active cell, and if there is data in the active cell or information in the active cell, it will step into the active cell. Whenever it hits a active cell with no data in it or a blank cell, it will stop processing the do while loop and continue on to any code below that. So since I have data in my A1, it's going to jump into the actual do while loop. The first thing I do is I create a variable called trim value. And what I do there is assign that variable a value. And what I do is I take the active cell offset of 0, 1, which points to column B, and I give it, I put that inside the left function. And the left function takes whatever string you give it and whatever number you give it and truncates it to that particular number. So in this instance, from the left side, I'm taking the active cell offset of 0, 1, and I'm truncating it to 20 characters, and I assigned it to my variable trim value. And if I process that, we can take a look at that, and you'll see, I'll do a quick lookup and show you that if I do a quick watch, you'll see that I have quality care spray, and it stops at D, but if I look in column B up here, it says quality care spray disinfected, potpourri, etc. So you can see that it has indeed trimmed that down. Now what I'm actually going to do is the active cell offset 0, 1, that's column B again, and I am going to actually replace the longer description with the shorter description, and that's what this particular line right here does. So once I process that, you'll see that column B, I now have a 20 character description versus the long description that was in there. The next thing I do is I set up a variable, concatenate variable, and what I do there is I'm assigning all my trim values into there, and I'm separating that with a constant called VBA. This is a carriage return line feed, which just basically puts every trim value on its own line and in the variable concatenate. And what I'm going to do at the end then is just print that out so you can see all of those values. The next line moves the active cell down one row and does not move it over any columns. So when I process this, you'll see that the variable moves from A1 to A2, and there it jumped down. And that's pretty much the do while loop. So and what I'm going to do is it's going to move down. It's going to continue to do all of those steps and keep moving down one row at a time until it reaches a blank line. So I'm just now going to hit continue and let it process all the way down. And I can do that by going up to the the run and hit continue, or I could have just hit F5. And what you'll see now is it processed all the way down through the macro until it hit the message box, and in that message box it put they put the concatenate variable, which listed all of the descriptions. And when I hit OK, it's now going to give me a message box that has done in it, And that's something I usually put at a lot of my macros, just so I know that I've hit the end of the macro. And it's kind of a just a reminder of where I'm at, and that I know that I've reached the end of the macro. And that's it. And you'll see that now, if you look at the spreadsheet in column A, you'll see that I've gone all the way down to the first blank cell. And in column B, I have actually trimmed all of those descriptions to 20 characters. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how a do while loop works, and a couple of other things as well. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them at the end of this video. Also, if you'd like some more information, please go to www.excelformac2011.com and see some more of my work, and please leave me a comment or a suggestion over there. Thank you very much for watching.